Next, we want to talk about personal and team processes. Because, you see, software doesn't write itself. Well, at least not yet, despite a lot of people's attempts. Now, there has been a lot of talk about the use of artificial intelligence in writing software recently. This has been going on over the last year or two, but there's a few things you have to know. For example, you have to define the right information that has to be fed into the AI system. And it is writing at best right now some small components or parts of a project, not large and complex applications. In fact, some of the best AI tools right now are more along the lines of a coding assistant, helping developers, but definitely not taking over their job. Since artificial intelligence is not taking over the software development world yet, any process model is going to need to consider the individuals and teams that are going to be working on the project. The company must be willing and able to adapt and adopt a process model mindset if they're going to be successful. If they do not, they will have issues. We've talked about several process models before. Which model they pick will depend upon company culture, the type of project they're working on, as well as other factors. This means that a smart company may vary the process models they use from project to project, picking one that'll be more effective for that project, not based upon an overall best average. Additionally, they will continue to do the right things and adjust what they do based upon the results that they see when they review the completed work. Dexter Yeager said, "A person who is successful has simply formed a habit of doing things that unsuccessful people will not do." The same could be said about businesses. They must be willing to do the things that will make them successful, doing those little changes. If you prefer, you could hear the quote from Aristotle, which says, "We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit." And we cannot do software engineering once and assume that we've got it. Nor should we quit when it doesn't provide some sort of magical outcome. We must keep on with it, working to get better and better until we reach the results we desire. The lines of code of a project is not really a good measurement tool for defining a large or complex application. It is something that is easily measurable. And so I want you to consider these things about how big an average application is. The average iPhone application has less than 50,000 lines of code. Typically it's around 24 to 25,000. Some are much bigger. In comparison, the Boeing 787 has approximately 6.5 million lines of code behind its avionics and online support systems. The recently retired Chevy Volt used about 10 million lines of code. And the Android operating system that runs your phone runs on between 12 and 15 million lines of code. A million line of code, if printed out, would be about 18,000 pages of text. That's 14 times the length of War and Peace. Now you might ask, why do we want to talk about that? Well, you have to realize that all that code needs to be delivered in a timely manner. Most new software projects are expected to be within 2 to 3 years max. The shorter the time, the better, with management often asking for large projects to be done in 12 months or less. So with that amount of code being written, we have to think about how can we do that. There's an African proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. There's no way a single individual could write that much code. Therefore, most software projects are addressed by a team or a collection of teams, not a single individual's work. The days of a single individual developer being able to write all the code for a project are pretty rare. And that's why the TSP, or Team Software Process, was created. The objective of the TSP is simple. It's to build self-directed teams that can plan and direct their own work. To show managers how to coach and motivate their teams. To accelerate the process of improvement by making CMM level 5, which we discussed previously, the normal. To provide improvement guidance and to facilitate university teaching, like this course, of industrial grade team skills. By having a good team and set of teams, it will make it easier for you to write software because the computer's not going to do it for us and a single person can't get it done for us. So the goal of the team process is to allow us to write that more complex software because the artificial intelligence isn't going to do it for us. A single superstar software developer isn't going to do it for you. It has to be a team of well-functioning developers creating software. And with a good team, you can get good, high-quality software projects completed. Hopefully, on time, on budget, and meeting the needs of the customer.